All right, well, let's get started. So here's what we're going to be covering today. The 10 key fundamentals every vacation rental manager needs to focus on when growing their inventory. So these were all taken from my new book, From 0 to 500 Properties in 5 Years, your playbook to grow your short-term vacation rental inventory. I just finished this book and it's going to be released in April and available on Amazon. Keep a lookout for it. All right, but before we dive into how to grow your inventory, I think it's important to understand how valuable each contract is in your rental program, right? The true value of your company are those contracts. If and when you decide to sell your company, you are going to get a check for every property in your rental program. And I want you to associate every new property as a pile of cash when you go to sell, because that's exactly what it is. All right. However, the value per contract really depends, right? Small operator on the coast of Maine is going to be very different than a property manager, say in Aspen or Maui, right? Personally, I've seen them as low as $7,000 a contract and as much as $50,000 a contract, but they typically average anywhere between $15,000 and $30,000. Our team at Vintory did an analysis of public records and the valuations per contract, and here's what we found. Vacasa's purchase of Wyndham, $18,000 per contract. If you look at Vacasa's investor deck from this past July, on average, their acquisition costs of all their previous acquisitions was $21,000 per contract. But here's the interesting point. They still had a 25% internal rate of return, IRR, post-acquisition, even at that price of $21,000 a contract. And then Sykes acquisition by Vitruvian Partners, a private equity firm, back in 2019, was just under $27,000 per contract. Now, here's an outlier though. Vacasa's purchase of Turnkey, they paid $103,000 per contract. Unbelievable. All right, so if we just want to assume $20,000 per contract, you will see that you have a company, and if you have a company with 50 properties, your company is worth about $1 million, right? And if you have a proactive plan to grow your inventory and grow it to say 250 properties, you just added $4 million in net worth. Boom, there's your retirement, right? So I say this all the time. There is not a better return on investment that I've found anywhere, not in the stock market, not in bonds, not in crypto, than investing back into your business and building your net worth. All right, now let's talk about messaging. So we are going to talk about the 7 key messaging points that should be included in all your marketing efforts for new homeowner acquisition. Now, when we work with our partners, the first thing we do is build out a key messaging document like this, right? This becomes the baseline for all marketing communication you do, whether that be a landing page, a postcard, or really anything. It's so nice because you have this document you can reference anytime you need to do any kind of sort of owner marketing. Now, we don't have time to go over each of these today, but if you email me, brooke@vintory.com, I'll send you our key messaging report template with real life estimates and kind of examples on how you can build out those 7 key messaging building blocks. Here's what it looks like. All right, so one of the questions I get all the time is, does it make sense to hire a full-time business development rep to generate new management contracts? The answer is, it depends. It depends on a couple of things, right? Do you have hired the right person? And do you have a little bit of cash to invest back in your business? You see, there's not an immediate return and it's a little bit delayed. So you can, if you can afford their salary for say a quarter or 2 or even 3 until they get ramped up and their properties start generating revenue to pay for themselves. But if you hire the right person and you have a little bit of cash to invest back in your business, it is a no-brainer. So let me show you the metrics here. All right, so I've done many presentations in the past where I break down the true value of a new contract in great detail. However, we don't have time to do that today. So this is just a summary slide. It's going to be going at it a little bit of a high level. So I've asked this question well over 200 times. What is the average gross booking revenue and what is the average net profits? So we're looking at about $36,000 in gross booking revenue, and the average vacation rental manager nets about 10% in net profit as a percentage of their gross booking revenue. So if you take one property that does $36,000 in gross booking revenue, and assuming an industry average commission rate of 10% or $7,200 in commissions, that would mean that one property would net $3,600 in profit or margins in year one. However, you don't keep a property in your rental program for 1 year, right? Hopefully you keep them in your rental program for much longer. So how do you calculate? Some owners may stay in your program for 1 year. Some may have been in your program since you started your company. But to calculate the average customer lifetime, you take 1 divided by your churn. What's churn, Brooke? Churn is defined as how many properties you lose in a given year as a percentage of your entire program. I like to average usually over 2 to 3 years. And to calculate that lifetime, you just divide that 1 divided by churn, or in this case, 10%, and you get an average lifetime of 10 years. And that seems to be the industry average. All right. So if you hire a BD Betty at, let's say, $80K per year, she brings in 2 new contracts per month. The key point here is 2 new contracts a month that you wouldn't have had without her, right? That's 24 homes per year. And using our numbers from the previous slide, that's first year margins of 86K. So you've invested $80,000 into BD Betty and returned 86K. So with benefits and other miscellaneous expenses, you probably just about broken even within year one. However, these properties will stay in your program for much longer, right? We've learned before that 10 years is average. So if you invest $80,000 to get $864K, I'd say that's a solid investment, right? Plus, there's a compounding effect, right? Year 2, it builds, and then year 3, etc. So I would take this scenario all day long. Plus, remember, those 24 contracts are probably worth close to another $400,000 to $500,000 when you go to sell your business. Absolutely worth it. All right, but it only works if you have the right person in the seat. How do you know who will make a great BD rep? So we recommend using psychometric personality assessment tools such as Predictive Index and Culture Index to accurately identify if the candidate you're considering has the right skills to be successful for this role. You will have an unfair advantage. We've identified the key profiles that are most successful, right? Profiles we found that make the great business development reps are captains, persuaders, mavericks, and rainmakers. They will produce 2x the output than any other profiles that we've found. Trust me, I've seen it time and time again. So go out there, sign up for Culture Index or Predictive Index and get the right person in the right seat. All right, up next, we're gonna talk about landing pages. So convert more leads with an optimized owner landing page. So after consulting with over 200 vacation rental managers, one of the biggest mistakes I see is not having a good landing page on their website for new property owners. This is the simplest things to fix that has an immediate ROI and is the lowest hanging fruit. So if you only do one thing after listening to this presentation, this would be it. Update your landing page using the best practices, right? Use that key messaging report we talked about earlier. Email me and I'll send you a copy of our infographic guide to building an effective landing page as well. So have your web designer update it, or you can use a product like Unbounce. Unbounce is awesome. You can build out unlimited landing pages. You can do one for each marketing campaign so you can track the performance. It's awesome. You can create little microsites. Highly, highly recommend Unbounce. All right, next up, let's talk about data. So it is true what they say, data is the new gold. Data is one of the most underestimated tools for inventory acquisition. I've heard that almost 50% of all marketing just comes down to your list. So where do you get that data? There's a couple sources. First, public tax records, right? It's often affiliated with MLS services. It's free and it's most up to date. It can sometimes be challenging though, because you have to download one record at a time, depending on the state. Next up is list brokers. This is the easiest, cleanest way to do it. You just have to pay for the data, right? There's Info USA, there's Exact Data. There's a million of them out there. Just Google it. But you want to make sure 2 things. You want to ask for absentee owners and be sure to make sure they can append, which appending means filling in any missing information. So mailing addresses and ability to find emails and phones. Up next is vacation rental permit data. This is often overlooked. If they require vacation rental permits or licenses, you can request those lists and they are required to provide you with a list from the town or county. They may push back and just mention the Freedom of Information Act and you can get that list. Up next is scraping, right? You can scrape anything. You can scrape OTAs, you can scrape your competitors, you can scrape large venture-backed conglomerates. But anything you can scrape, you can find them on Upwork, people that can help you with that scraping. One thing to note, some states fall under real estate licensing where soliciting the listings of other brokers is frowned upon or illegal. So please make sure you check your local rules and regulations before doing any of this. All right, so let's keep going with our next topic, omni-channel marketing. All right, so I mentioned Vintory is not only a software platform, but we are also a full sales and marketing agency, and we execute this omni-channel marketing strategy you see here on behalf of our partners. So we're going to be going over a couple of these. All right, why omni-channel? Because by combining all these strategies, it has a compounding effect, right? The definition of synergy, 1 + 1 = 3, right? The old days of sending one postcard per year are long gone, and those are for yesterday's managers. Today's top vacation rental managers are executing a proactive omni-channel marketing approach you see here, right? And by doing so, it has a boost effect, right, on all those other campaigns. So we're going to break down each one of these into their own hacks. Let's get started. First up is direct mail. Direct mail is not dead. Vacation rental industry is one of the few industries where direct mail still works. So Brooke, what are the hacks? First, use key messaging report we talked about earlier. Make sure you're using all those elements, right? Your USPs, your features and benefits, your call to action, your risk reversals, your compelling offer, all those things, right? The next thing you want to do with direct mail is consistency. I'm going to say it again. The key is consistency. I'd recommend sending 1,000 postcards 6 times to the same target than 6,000 postcards 1 time. There's a compounding effect. The ROI is there. The math pencils out. Trust me, we've seen it time and time again. Next up is segmentation. So you can segment by anything, right? You can segment by building, by community. You can also segment by your target persona, right? Meaning that if you think about it, the pain points of RBO Ruby, one of our personas, are going to be much different than venture-backed Victor or first-time Frank, right? All right. Also, try something different, right? We've had a ton of success with handwritten notes. You'd never know they weren't written with a human. We have 12 robots that write these notes around the clock. If you're not a Vintory partner, you can get these done at handwritten.com, handwritten with a Y. All right, the next strategy is to fill your pipeline with a consistent funnel of leads by converting cold leads into warm leads and new leads into hot leads. So my hack is twofold. First, if you do not excel at writing direct response copy, and it is an art, hire a great copywriter off Upwork or Fiverr that is a pro at this, and have them write a couple campaign templates for you that are designed to convert. Number 2, automate your cold email outreach using a service like Mailshake or Lemlist. They will ensure your emails get delivered to the inbox and they are not marked as spam. But when you purchase your absentee owner list, make sure you're getting those emails and phones, okay? And this was a huge surprise for me. People actually respond to emails. We have a partner in Kauai. The first email campaign we sent, we got 2 deals valued at $100,000 each. All right, up next is pay-per-click. So the hacks. You want to cast as wide a net as possible, and you need to know those right key terms. So paid search traffic can be fantastic, right? Because it usually has high intent and the person is looking to take action. But the downside in this scenario is that the overall search volume is very low. So you need to cast as wide a net as possible, right? At Vintory, we have a full digital marketing team, and we've researched and tested the best 50 to 70 unique keyword concepts to bid on in paid search. And what we found is we found these on Ahrefs and SEMrush, and you can too. So the hack is twofold. Leverage tools like this to find those long tail keywords. And number 2, make sure you're casting as wide a net as possible. All right, another key digital advertising hack is to use list-based retargeting. This is also known with custom audiences with Facebook. So list-based retargeting has been a game changer. Previously, the only way to get in front of your prospect targets was through direct mail. But now with list-based retargeting through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, you can serve up your display ads directly on your targets. So how do you run these list-based retargeting? First, establish your target list of properties you want to go after. Then you do an email and phone append for those owners. You then upload that list to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and you can serve up those display ads directly on their targets, not triangulating it like, you think you're doing it, lookalike audiences. I'm talking directly on their computers. This is a game freaking changer. What's great about this is if you do this and time this with all your other marketing efforts like direct mail, you get this boost effect with all your other marketing. Now, there are tons of moving parts to administer this, so we'd recommend either Sharp Spring Ads or AdRoll to execute this. All right, another way you can target your prospective owners digitally is through IP targeting. What is IP targeting? IP targeting allows you to serve up display ads directly on your prospective owners' computers as they surf the web. Millions of websites like Weather Channel, ESPN, CNN, even local news sites. So how do you do it? Step one, upload a list of your targets to the IP targeting software. It then matches your target with their IP address. It then serves up display ads on those targets' computers as they surf the web. If the CIA ever got into marketing, this is how they would do it. Now, between this and list-based retargeting, for the first time ever, we're able to push out these digital marketing to targets without having them go to our website first and cookie them. Again, this is a big deal. With the exception of the large venture-backed companies, almost nobody is doing this, but it's totally doable by the little guys too. All right, Simplify and AdCellerant are two companies that can help you deploy IP targeting. All right, up next is speed and responsiveness. You want to know something ironic? Every single vacation rental manager we speak to says they want to grow and they want to add new properties and they want to know what that silver bullet is that does it, right? What is that silver bullet? The irony is they want the flashy things, the beautiful marketing, the great postcards, the great landing pages, but very often they just need to work on their fundamentals. Pick up the phone when a lead calls and respond quickly to any inbound leads. So it's kind of like, my analogy would be, or metaphor, it's like drafting, a number one pick as your quarterback. You pay him $200 million a year, but you don't even have like an offensive line, right? They're awful. They're all hurt. And they're, you could drive a bus through those holes. Even a great quarterback is going to be awful without the fundamentals of a solid offensive line. All right. So the first fundamental, speed and responsiveness matters, right? According to Mark Roberge, if you don't know Mark Roberge, he's a Harvard professor, former CMO at HubSpot. He was employee number 3, I think. If you connect with a lead immediately or call them back within 2 minutes, the likelihood of success is 10x more than if you wait an hour. And it's about 10,000 times more likely if you wait a full day. All right. When we ask our partners if they answer the phone, guess what? They always say yes, absolutely, 100%. But guess what? When we secret shop them, the data definitely doesn't support that. We see it time and time again. They are missing calls. So our team at Vintory secretly shopped close to 100 vacation rental managers. We inquired about property management services, and only 34% of the time was our call actually answered. We were absolutely shocked. And when we left a message, which who leaves a message anymore, they only called us back 57% of the time, which means that most management companies are missing the majority of the opportunities that come in. However, when we called the mega managers, the Vicasas, the turnkeys, et cetera, they had 100% connectivity rate. They're not better. They just answer the damn phone, right? And that is half the battle. So this reminds me of a quote by Woody Allen: 80% of success is just showing up. So I'd recommend secret shopping your company a couple times, see what happens, right? Do it different times throughout the day. And please, 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 if you cannot consistently, if your team is not consistently answering these leads, hire a firm that can, right? So what's the hack? It's using the answering service. At a minimum, I'd recommend using a company like Extend Team to help you out, ensure that you're answering every call 24 hours a day. Extend Team is an offshore outsourcing team solution specifically geared for the vacation rental industry. We've got like 10 Extend Team members on our team. Absolutely love them. All right, up next is get a CRM with marketing automation. So using a CRM for marketing acquisition. So most of you are probably already using a CRM, but that's on the guest side, right? You know that it can save you a ton of time, help you keep track of all your leads in one centralized place, and help you get future bookings, right? However, we found that most vacation rental managers aren't keeping track of their owner leads. And this is shocking because these leads are super valuable. We talked about it before, right? It's a future gold mine. Keeping track of them is critical. Now, it doesn't need to be fancy. Just track them somewhere. Just don't use Post-it notes, please. It can be as simple as Google Sheets, right? If you're cheap, get Google Sheets, right? Or just a basic CRM. There's a million of them out there. There are CRMs like Salesforce, HubSpot, Zoho, and shameless plug, Vintory. We've developed a CRM from the ground up specifically for vacation rental managers to grow their inventory. All right, when you do get a CRM, make sure it has automation built in. It'll save you time and convert more leads. So by leveraging marketing automations built into these tools, it's going to increase your chances of connecting with your lead quickly. Now, the marketing automation platforms like ActiveCampaign and HubSpot and others can really help accelerate the velocity of this. Shameless plug again, Vintory platform has a automation built into it, right? As soon as that form is filled out, the automation goes to work, automatically enroll them in sequences, emails, text messages, and even will call your business development rep the second a form is filled out, and they can do a hot call transfer. Remember why? Because speed and responsiveness matters. All right, number 8 here is leverage effects. So up until this point, we've talked about how to get in front of more leads, how to convert more leads, but what about understanding how your marketing is performing? So one of my hacks for this is to use call tracking. So call tracking is so important, right? Vintory's platform has call tracking natively built into it, and it's seamlessly integrated with our platform. However, if you're not on the Vintory platform, you can use software such as CallRail for call tracking recording. Every marketing campaign has a unique phone number so we can track the performance of it. It's really easy to do A/B testing with this. Plus, it records every call so you can go back and coach your business development rep, or if you just miss anything, you can go back and listen to it. All right, the next hack here is leverage effects is if you don't have a chat widget, add one now. Adding chat to your property management page will instantly increase your leads day one. I know some people think they're annoying, but guess what? They work. There's an overall fundamental shift happening where people prefer chat and messaging versus forums and emails. A bunch of great companies out there that easily manage this. Drift, Podium, and Intercom are some companies that have great chat feature. And at Vintory, our platform has a chat widget that's seamlessly natively built into our CRM. All right, number 9, inbound marketing. I'm going to contradict myself a little bit, right? We talk about all this outbound marketing, but I feel one of the best ROIs out there is with inbound marketing. However, guess what? It's hard. It takes time. And I know 99% of most vacational managers just won't do it. So what you want to know what the crack version of inbound marketing is, right? The quick fix. I'd recommend interactive content, right? It's a form of inbound marketing, right? And we're going to highlight a couple examples here that you can deploy with your company and make it easy to execute. All right, so here's an example of interactive income projection calculator we offer to our enterprise partners that integrates seamlessly within our platform. This usually becomes the most widely trafficked page on most vacational managers' websites. Prospective homeowner can enter in information such as their number of bedrooms, the home location, amenities, and it spits out a customized rental projection based on data you enter in. And it becomes a great way to capture leads and increase conversions on your landing pages. However, if you're not a Vintory partner, you can build out something similar to this through a tool called Calconic, right? With this tool, if you can imagine it, you can build a calculator around it. And you don't need to know how to write a line of code, right? Great way to convert traffic into leads. All right, here's another example of interactive content we built out for one of our partners. Now, he was getting inundated about questions about how certain properties would perform and that were on the market. So our team built out these interactive maps of the top rental properties in his markets. We attached rental projections to each. Anytime anyone was looking for projections, we will just send them to this page. It's a great tool for buyers. It's a great tool for real estate agents. This will save you a ton of time and become a great referral source for deals for them. Now, this was built out very easily through a web-based application called Batch Geo. Super simple to update and embed the code into your website with no coding necessary. All right, up next is referral marketing. So just like we target your ICP, guess what? We target realtors in an omni-channel method for our partners. So you can purchase a list of every realtor in your state by reaching out to your state's real estate commission. You can there narrow it down to your market and create campaigns directly targeting them. All right, so one of the best examples of a realtor referral program I've seen is from my friend Steve Schwab with CasaGo. Steve built out a program called Lifetime of Leads, and here's how it works. First, reach out to several of the top realtors in your market, offer to take them to lunch or coffee, and explain that you're going to help them close more deals. For every property they refer to you, that property becomes their lead machine, right? They will be seen by dozens, if not hundreds of guests per year for every property they refer. Every guest that books that property will see their information, and you'll help them highlight their services. If they refer 2 properties, it only compounds from there. After several referrals, this becomes one of their top performing sources of leads. Their contact information is seen in 4 different ways. First, at booking. So when a client receives an email confirming the reservation, the agent's contact information will be included in the email. At check-in, when the guest receives their check-in information and door code information, they will also be provided the agent's contact information. And in the home, right, you're going to have a tent card that'll be placed strategically in the home with the agent's information, as well as a QR code to see the top performing vacation homes currently on the market. And then even at checkout. So after checkout, the guest will receive a survey along with when they would like their information about purchasing real estate in the local area. If they indicate interest, the agent information will be sent directly to them. So this is a great way to build up realtor referral leads. All right, well, thank you for attending. So at Vintory, we're offering a special here. So everyone that attended this, just go to vintory.com/breezeway, and you're going to get a free homeowner data file of up to 500 records. We'll build out a free homeowner landing page for you, and you get to try Vintory's software risk-free for 60 days. Plus, if you get a demo, we'll give you a $50 Amazon gift card. Thank you very much.